Space Marine, turn 1. We had some movement up here. They kind of shuffled up the building. That moved out. They stayed put. The Whirlwind stayed put. The scouts sneakily infiltrated into that building near that objective and this objective, depending on what happens, but with reserve support. So that's bait right there. We had the Predator and the Last Cannon needed to fire to drop my webway portal. They succeeded in wrecking it. They're not pinned, they just got out. The scouts fired into the Scourge, successfully killing one with sniper fire. And then the Whirlwind shot and hit these guys. Well, it scattered off and killed one, but they passed their -1 pinning test. Oh, and then this Dreadnought, death from above down here, and shot but missed into that Ravager. Okay, so the Dark Eldar must now move into position. And by turn 2, I mean bottom of turn 1. Okay, so Dark Eldar retaliate. Ravager flies over, shoots this in the back, and immobilizes it. They shuffle and do nothing. That fired into that, killing the Heavy Bolter. The Grotesques and the Webway Portal move up and deploy the Webway Portal. The Scourge move up and shake the Razorback. The Ravager stuns the Predator. This Venom fired at those Space Marines in the building, killing one. The Incubi Venom boosts up, ready to pounce next turn. And then the Warrior Squad moves and runs, getting into a better position for next turn. So now the Space Marines, with their reserves to come in, let's roll for reserves on camera to increase the suspense of the game.
So we have the outflanking tactical squad.
Outflanking tactical squad shows up.
The outflanking scouts.
Outflanking scouts
don't come in.
Do not show up. The Terminators
come in.
Show up, and
the
Assault Marines
also shows up.
Show up. So the only thing that doesn't show up are the scouts, but they're smart. So Space Marine turn 2. Rhino zoomed up, rapid fired, and then the scouts rapid fired. They fell back, but you know they're under 50%. They're off the table. The Terminators got out, charged the Homunculus because he was just within 6 inches, and they beat combat. These have 1 wound left, 2 wounds left, 1 wound left, but they weren't able to sweep in advance. So now they might blow up, and he smacked my Homunculus dead. The outflanking, they showed up over here and blew up that Ravager. Great. That Land Raider actually, and then I passed flicker field saves on this, so this is still alive. And they moved back over here, supported by the jump axe with the captain and the chaplain. Okay, so Dark Eldar reserves. We'll start with the Reaver jet bikes. They show up. Then we'll do the Hellions. They show up. The 2 units of witches, the ones with the gauntlets, yes, and the ones with the Chardonnay and Impaler, no, and then last but not least, the Razor Wing, yes. Okay, so we'll be back. Only 1 unit didn't come in, so now it's time, and he still has 1 unit of scouts in reserve left. So the reserves showed up. The jet bikes from there zoomed over the Terminators over here and killed one, actually. These witches came on and tried to fleet and needed a 6 to charge into there and failed. Razor Wing and 2 Venoms, that Venom and that Venom, fired into these guys. He made good saves. Right now he's got 1 wound on him. The captain's fine, and there's 5 with 1 flamer left. Predator's fine, Whirlwind is fine. Incubi got out of the Venom, charged into here, and there's 1 guy left alive. These guys moved up. Grotesque continued to fall back. This thing fired at the Land Raider for no effect. Hellions got out and were there prepared to deal with the Terminators or scouts. This Venom actually gunned down 3 Assault Terminators. Thoughts? No. Unfortunate. That's right. The dice sometimes poop on your face. And then they fleeted and then charged into there and spread out. But that's fine. And I wasn't able to do anything against this, and they missed. Okay, so now we're on to Space Marine turn 3, and we'll start with the scouts, the outflanking scouts. They show up. The jump packs jumped into the witches. 1 is alive after shooting an assault, and I was able to kill the chaplain because he only had 1 wound, and the agonizer took care of him. They blew up the Razorwing. That thing can't move or shoot. That thing cannot shoot, but it can still move, and it lost a lance. This guy fired at those racks and killed 2, and that can't move or shoot. These guys are coming around here. That's a full 10-man tactical squad. It's going to be so hard to unlodge them. Killed that one guy. They consolidated 6 inches trying to go into the main combat over here. And that tank shock, the Helion's trying to get them off, but they passed their test. Other than that, we're going into Dark Eldar, turn 3. And the only thing left are the witches. Do they show up? They do not. The Ravager moved up this way for cover save. They did move. They forgot to shoot at that again, apparently. They flamed and did nothing. They killed the little marine unit. They killed off the last witch and then consolidated towards Bikes, who flew over that unit and actually killed 2. The homunculus got out and tried to charge over here and then died horribly. Wanted to tie them up. This missed against that. No, this thing's fine. I shot at him with this venom, but he's fine. The grotesques ran back a little bit. They're still okay. So now we're on to Space Marine. Turn 4. The scouts moved up into the cover and blasted 3 of those racks into oblivion. They passed their morale. This tank shocked that unit. They passed their tank shock. Then the whirlwind blasted them with a no cover save and they got pinned, Ordnance Barrage pinning. And then they passed their morale test. The Predator, 2 pens against this, 2 flicker field saves. Then they charged in. There was only 3 bikes. Captain killed 2 bikes. Then the power weapon arena champion actually killed 2 Marines. Then the other Marines failed to kill him. So that's a tight combat. On this side, we had the Librarian stun both these, and this thing kind of fired and stunned that one, shook that one. That one's fine. They tank shocked them a little bit further back. Then the Dreadnought fired at them, lost 1, so they might be able to rally. And then they're just sitting on the objective, and then they're up there. So we'll roll for Dark Eldar reserves on turn 4, seeing if the witches show up. And they do. My reserves showed up. They showed up over here. And they got out, and I immobilized that Rhino because they charged, and then they wrecked it, and they're pinned at the back there. I wrecked that Land Raider. Finally, the tank hunting Lance wrecked the Land Raider. Venom did 6 wounds on the Librarian, and he fell 2 saves, unluckily. I've done nothing to that, and they're trying to... I flew that up to try and contest for turn 5. Predators, completely fine. Incubi made it up with a fantastic run roll, killed all the jump packs. The jet bikes are all dead. The captain is full strength against the Incubi, who are now fearless with the Archon. They flamed this. They were AP2 but did no wounds. And so the scouts are still fine. That Rhino is still fine. And we're going into Space Marine turn 5. They stayed still. They actually got hit by the whirlwind, failed their pinning and morale, and now they're running away. They just kind of bunched up because they didn't get enough movement to go down. Nothing happened to that thing, passed its saves from that. The captain in the epic duel was like, he cut down all the Incubi and forced some fearless saves to no wounds in return. He wants a fair fight. So now they're duking it out. And then they shot at them, did nothing. This tank shocked in there to the objective. So now we're going into Dark Eldar, turn 5. So what happened? They moved and ran, but didn't get it far enough for that objective. The witches charged into them and only killed 2, but didn't take any reserve. They held. Nothing happened over here. I managed to stop that from moving or shooting. And I completely forgot to put him on the side there to then flame them. They continued falling back here. I actually turbo boosted him, who was right there, 24 inches to get over here. And then I was successful, and the Ravager blew up that Predator that was contesting. So he actually holds that objective. Over here in combat, they completely whiffed at each other. Actually, he passed his 1 save that was required to make, and I passed my 1 save. And over here, my racks did nothing again with the liquefier, and the scouts beat them in combat, and then they consolidated up to here. So as it looks right now, 1 objective of the Dark Eldar, and everything else is contested, and...
It was a tough game.
And that was it. It was over. We rolled, no other turn. Oh well. Okay, so, tactical notes.
It was a tough game. The basic idea was to rush as much as forward and try to stunt his advance. I think I did it pretty well. A couple of rolls could have gone better for me, particularly the Dreadnought could have performed a little better. However, all in all, I must say, it was just a good tactical battle, and it just ended up being a draw. Well, it could have been a draw, but the unfortunate...
This one little rack. Troop choice, who should be dead.
Should be dead. All in all?
All in all. Good game. That was fun. Tactical notes for me. I actually had a lot of stuff in reserve, and was successful in... bringing most of them out when I needed them. In retrospect, even though I did wreck the Land Raider, I should have moved the jet bikes to use the 2 heat lances against the Land Raider, since that's the kind of target that they're useful for, and then they could have actually helped over here. But I was too afraid of the Librarians of Avenger power, and that Flamer could have just wrecked them. Man of the match, I must say, were the Incubi, because they started over here, killed the tactical squad, moved up over here, killed the tactical squad, moved up over here, killed the whole assault squad, and then killed the remainder of the assault squad and tied up the commander. And what would you be your MVP for the battle?
Oh, there's so many. I'm going to go with the Scouts.
The Scouts?
Because they managed to hold their own against not only a Razorwing, Liquefiers.
Yeah, that's right.
And yeah, I think they did quite well. Plus, they could have held the objective had they progressed a little better.
That is correct, they could have. And you still had that Rhino down there too.
It was contested.
Anyway, that was a fun game. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. We tried to get painted armies on a nice table, 2,500 points, big game, lots of stuff happening, and, played it out. Of course, comments are appreciated. If you like the video, you can like it. You can also follow the 40k Nation on Twitter at 40k Nation, or myself on Twitter at Skari2. You can also check out my podcast and blog at scard.podbean.com, as well as visit the 40k Nation site at www.40knation.com. If you like what you see and you would like to see more, remember to subscribe to the channel. This is Skari. Hope you enjoyed the battle, and we'll be back with more fantastic content. Skari, out.